It's only right that you should. It's only right that you should.
I was planning on reacting to Chappell Roan's unreleased song, The Subway, on this video, but I was going through her videos and I saw her do a cover of Fleetwood Mac's song, Dreams. And that's one of the songs that I've taught the most over the last 20 years. I know Stevie Nicks' voice very intimately on that song, and I thought this would be a fascinating comparison to do a video first listening to a decent amount of Chappell Roan singing it, and then go back and play a live version of Stevie Nicks doing it and compare and contrast their tone qualities. My name's Tim. I'm a vocal instructor. I've been doing this for a long time. This is my website. I've got an amazing team of teachers that teach with me. I do lessons online and in person. Message if you want to set up some lessons, and subscribe. Click the little notification to stay up to date on my next stuff. I can't wait to get started on this video, so I'm just going to jump right in. Here we go.
Now here you go again. You say you want your freedom. Well, who am I to keep you down? It's only right that you should play the way you feel it, but listen carefully to the sound of your loneliness. Like a heartbeat drives you mad, and the stillness of remembering what you had and what you lost and what you had and what you lost. Oh, thunder only happens when it's raining. Boys only love you when they're playing. Say women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you'll know. You will know.
All right, let's stop there. Wow, that was so cool. Interesting already. I can tell you some of the differences just hearing it. Her tone quality is so much more diverse in the way she's using it than the Stevie Nicks tone quality. Stevie Nicks has more point, more brass in her tone. Chappell Roan, when she's starting this off, there's a lot more openness in her throat in the back, which is giving a little bit more depth of tone. She's also more in her mix. She's using more airflow allowance through the tone. She has a slightly gapped vocal fold posture, which gives this windiness. And then when she gets to some of the bigger parts later on in the pre-chorus into the chorus, she starts opening up and using more of her chest voice. Stevie Nicks stays pretty much more straight down the middle with her tone. Let's bounce over and compare to Stevie Nicks a little bit right now.
Now there you go again. You say you want your freedom.
So notice her tone already. It's more fronted. It's more pointy. Check out Chappell Roan's tone on this first phrase right here. Listen to the difference in the tone quality.
Now here you go again. You say you want your freedom.
So you see Chappell Roan, she has more air through the tone. She has a little more space inside. It's overall a warmer, darker tone than Stevie Nicks. Now listen to Stevie Nicks right here.
Now there you go again. You say you want your freedom.
Hear that? So Stevie Nicks has more vocal fold closure, more adduction of her vocal folds. She has a little more TA dominance in her sound, a little more of a thickened, brassy tone. While Chappell Roan has a little more gapped vocal fold sound, a little less air pressure, a little more openness in the back of her throat. Those are the differences between their tone quality. Let's keep listening on. I'm going to listen a little bit more with the Stevie Nicks.
Well, who am I to keep you down?
She's got more power in her tone in this part than Chappell Roan does.
It's only right that you should play the way you feel it.
Stevie Nicks is with a full band here. Chappell Roan is just sitting with a very minimal accompaniment. The very minimal accompaniment that Chappell Roan does opens it up more for her to do these super micro minimal sounds in her singing, which for the Stevie Nicks, it's a little trickier when you've got a drum cranking out and bass and guitar and it's loud. It almost makes you want to sit a little bit more in a more stable projected tone when you're singing with a band. Not that you can't sing soft with a band, but I can just say from being on stage with bands, it really does put you in an energy to want to project more. And Chappell Roan definitely does project when she's with a band, but she does overall, I would say, sing with more tone quality diversity and dynamic diversity than Stevie Nicks does, which means basically she sings a lot quieter than Stevie Nicks will a lot of the time. And then she will get to that full power level, which Stevie Nicks does. So it's just the range of dynamics that Chappell Roan has are much wider. And that's a very common thing for current contemporary musicians.
Listen carefully to the sound.
She's still coming in and out of her brass tone here, but it's not like as dramatic of a difference in tone quality as it is in the Chappell Roan. Listen for that now.
Oh, can you say you want your freedom?
Do you hear how her tone is more airflowy and sultry and more intimate?
Well, who am I to keep you down? It's only right that you should play the way you feel it. But listen carefully to the sound of your loneliness, like a heartbeat drives you mad.
What's really cool, having heard a few of her songs now, you can start seeing some of those stylizations, the little falling off of the note that she does now. You can also hear a little bit of that yodel technique coming in here too.
In the stillness of remembering what you had.
Hear that little flip in there, there was a tiny little catch in her voice there. It was so perfect. I love real singing, just real. She put it up. She didn't go back and retake it. She kept that little catch in there. I love that. Don't be so perfect with your voices. Don't get caught up in that hyper over perfecting everything stuff. Sound like a real person.
And what you lost.
You can hear her tight vibrato. She has such a tight, fast vibrato. Perfect for a pop singer.
And what you had. And what you lost.
Notice how fluently she is switching between her windy tone and her brassy tone.
Oh, thunder only happens when it's raining. Waves only love you when they're playing.
She went up to the harmony there. I think Stevie Nicks stays down, but I love that she went up to the harmony on the higher part there. Let's go over and listen to Stevie Nicks on that part. I was wrong. Actually, she's up on the players only love. She's up on that part, which is the same thing that Chappell was doing. So Chappell was right. She did double the part that Stevie Nicks was doing. I thought that Stevie Nicks stayed down. Thunder only happens. I thought she stayed down on the melody there, but hey, I guess I was wrong. That's what I always have my students do. I always have them sing that lower part because it just feels more like the melody to me. The top part feels like the harmony, but Chappell was right to go up there like Stevie Nicks does. But if you notice, Chappell gives a little more brass, a little more chest voice in it when she goes up there. It's so good. It's hard to do that high. Let's go back over to Chappell now. So Chappell's in a little bit more of a chest mix up there than Stevie Nicks was. Listen to that. See, Stevie Nicks was a little more head voicey than Chappell Roan was in that top part. And that's one of Chappell Roan's superpowers, the ability to be heady, to be a little bit brassy, or to be even more brassy up in that high upper register. Sometimes up there, it's like your body wants to go, I can do brass, I can do head voice, but don't try to mix them too much. Let's go back to the Chappell one now.
Say women, they will come and they will go.
That little riff was so cool there. See, that's a new thing. That's a Chappell Roan thing to do.
When the rain washes you clean, you'll know.
Such an intuitive little change right there.
You will know.
She's putting little tiny things that are her own on this song, which is already showing signs of her being an artist. She's oozing artistry here. Whenever I have students that start doing stuff like that early on, I know that the creative mind is at work, and I try to nurture and bring that out.
Now here I go again, I see the crystal visions.
Now, we've heard this tone on some of her stuff off of her album, like Pink Pony Club, when she starts off in that super low tone there, and she's got that air flowiness and the open throat. If you haven't watched my Pink Pony Club reaction, check it out. I talk about this depth of tone and this openness that she has. She's using this here. It's that same open, air flowy sound with kind of darker vowels.
I keep my visions to myself.
Notice she didn't say ah. She didn't keep it lateral like an R&B soul hip hoppy type of pop singing. I keep my shoes. I keep. She kept it very tall. Listen for that again.
Now here I go again, I see the crystal vision.
Do you hear that airflow and that darkness?
I keep my visions to myself.
So much warmth and depth of tone there.
It's only me that wants to wrap around your dreams, and
that flip is so hard there. I work on that with students a lot. I've got a student that I work on that with regularly. This is one of her favorite songs. We work on that flip. Chappell Roan's doing it just off the cuff so effortlessly.
have you any dreams you'd like to sell?
It's so intimate to sing it like this relative to the Stevie Nicks version. I love this song. I've always loved this song. I think it's so beautiful and so mature and so wise.
Dreams of loneliness like a heartbeat drives you mad, and the stillness of remembering what you had,
You can hear those little flips and catches in her voice there.
and what you lost, and what you had, and what you lost.
Notice the last time she did that little melisma there, she flipped into her mix. This time she kept it in her chest voice. So effortless.
And what you had,
See?
and what you lost.
Such a natural power in her voice.
Oh, thunder only happens when it's raining.
Now right there, I would prefer for her to get through that phrase, thunder only happens when it's raining, because that's a complete statement. Whenever we're thinking about phrasing, we want to think about it as if we're making a statement. And sometimes taking a breath in the middle of the statement breaks the thing you're about to say, like I just did right there. Little cheesy example, but you get the idea. You know, singers, work on this. This isn't the ideal thing to do.
Thunder only happens when it's raining.
Right there. That breath when it's raining, that's not a breath that's of service to the expression. That's a breath that was taken because of lack of breath management. So that's something that we'd want to work on.
Players only love you when they're playing.
Notice her vowel modification on the top there. Players only love. She said the word love, which is like but she didn't say up there. She went la. She modified laterally. Check that out.
Players only love you when
Did you see that? Lateral love.
they're playing.
That's appropriate vowel modification when you take your chest voice up that high. Vowels become more ah. Lots of vowels. All the open vowels basically become more ah or ah.
Say women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you'll know.
Her pitch accuracy is so good.
You will know.
This is beautiful. Love this little delicate playing she's doing too. So beautiful. Chappell! Good job. Lovely. All right, so the difference overall in tone quality really has to do with the amount of energy being put in the sound. Chappell Roan has a much overall lighter, airflowier, more introspective performance of it compared to the Stevie Nicks performance. Stevie Nicks has a little more vocal fold closure, a little smaller acoustic chamber, a little more of a fronted, brassier tone overall throughout the song. She's using her chest voice up higher. She's also flipping into her head voice sometimes, but within a bandwidth of dynamic and tone quality variation that's much smaller than the dynamic tone quality variation that Chappell Roan uses. Chappell Roan gets more airflowy. She gets breathier. She also gets beltier and brassier. She's got little stylizations she's doing on it. And she's doing little yodely things too, which are Chappell Roan's things, which now she's teased out and are such a huge part of her singing. This was really interesting for me to compare. I hope this was interesting for you too, because I love this song. And it's really fun to hear Chappell Roan back a few years ago, now knowing what she's become. It'll be interesting to do that in a few years, to look back on it now, because I bet she's going to be something that we can't even imagine in a few years. So that was a lot of fun. I hope that was enjoyable for you. I'll get back to our regularly programmed Chappell Roan stuff here really soon, where I'll check out the Subway as well as finish off the Tiny Desk performances. I promised you all I would do that, so that's coming down the pike too. So stay tuned. Thanks for checking this out. If you like this video, subscribe, click the little notification to stay up to date on my latest stuff, okay? Cheers.